I'm starting with, like 15 minutes. Like I have a good idea, and I'm like, okay, I want to build on this. Um, but if I don't have a good idea, then like it just doesn't happen. There's actually there's this guy named Brad Meldau. He's a professional piano player. He's very established. I went to one of his shows when we first moved to the city, and I was like, I'd been a fan of his for 5 years. That doesn't sound like a lot, but I don't know. And I brought him a letter because I was like too nervous the first night I went. So I went back the second night with my letter, like, oh, this is what your music has done for me. This is how it's inspired me. I left my email at the bottom, and he emailed me. He's like, hey, Riley, like, I enjoyed reading your letter. I connected with a lot of what you said, and, we should get coffee. And then from there, we became friends. He's like a mentor almost, not in a way that gets me anything, but just sort of a guy that shows me how I want to be when I'm older. And he's also just like incredible at piano. And I think I'm going to see his show next week. I get to hang out with him after. He's like, oh, we should. If you're at the show, we should go hang out after, get pizza or whatever. His music's it's very healing too. Like you listen to it, it's like, oh, this guy gets it. When I write music, I like try to think of something I wish to convey to someone else. Like, oh, this is a way I'm feeling about something, and I can't like say it, so try to do it via music. I also think there's something to be said for someone's body of work, like when it comes to music. And the more you listen, the more you understand about them, the more you understand about the message they're trying to get across. And I think that's something I always have in mind is I don't sit here and write out very specific music. It's more so taking an idea or a theme, if you will, and kind of like feeding off. Like, let's say, okay, this is something I was working on last night. Just like a very simple, 3 notes, nothing crazy. Just fitting it to some sort of structure. Doing a little like variation. And I think that's like the best way to compose is like, don't try and leave with, oh, I want to leave with this my best song ever. Like just sit down and obviously you need training, but like sit down and play what makes you feel good and what makes you feel like you're speaking to someone. Like it should be like you're having a conversation, like the same way we would talk about some shit that happened, before we came to school or something really sad that happened or depressing. It's like you're telling someone. It's like, man, this really, like, just, it's not a good example, but it's like an idea, and you sit there with that, maybe, like, got all these voice memos, just like different ideas. Some are like an hour long, some are 30 seconds. and like I just record them, and if I'm not feeling inspired or I'm, feeling like I want to write something, I just go through my voice memos and I'm like, all right, I like that. Let me continue on that idea. And seldom does it come out with something I like, but sometimes it's like, oh yeah, like that's cool.
What if you don't like it?
I still record it and keep it, just in case. I didn't even need like the context of the entire film. I feel like I didn't see anything other than what you showed me, but it's a very powerful act to want to take your own life. And some people say it's selfish, and some people say people have their opinions. But at the end of the day, it is it's very strong. It's it's a show of force. It's someone regaining control. And like you could totally feel that. Like the actor was just like, oh my God, like I need to regain control. And I feel like setting up, the entire song was kind of setting up the ending where it went like, where it kind of like is just, visually you see him lift out of that, and then you hear that and it's kind of like, not a resolution objectively, but it feels like a resolution. And I really liked what I came up with. not in that, but like I was happy with how I came out of it. The building tension of just sort of,
The looking camera.
little abbreviated version, but I don't know. I like it. What'd you think?
I love it even more than the original. Yeah.
Good shit. Yeah,
It
sounds better on this.
Gotta make the film again. Like gotta redo the film.
We can redo it. We can make that happen.
Going to dinner?